Okay, as you can see, I have the Honda HT3810 pulled apart because this machine has decided it wants to live. The fuel pump has started working, it's now cranking by the key, so I figured let's see how bad is the carburetor. And unfortunately, it's not very good. It's already been opened up. There's a fair bit of damage, and if you look at the side, there's something missing. Yeah, that's not cleaning up very easily. I did clean some of this off in here, but this float is pretty much hardened right up. There's no give to it at all. It has cracked. The needle is stuck into the carburetor. The carburetor moves, like the throttle and choke both move without any issues, and has good spring tension, but this carburetor is not savable. So I was looking through my stash of carburetors, Briggs and Kohler. Neither of them have the correct offset for the studs right here. I have some junk engines at the back, and I figured, okay, take a look at them. They're Honda clone engines. What's the difference on them? And this actually fits onto about a 13 horsepower Honda clone engine, which this engine here is rated at 10 horsepower, but 10 to 13, who really cares? So I gotta get a measurement across here and here, and potentially order up a carburetor for, most likely it's gonna be off of a generator, but I should be able to modify it to make it work on here. It will have a backfire prevention solenoid, most likely. This machine does not. I can modify the wiring and make it work. I don't remove them. So the thing is, the fuel in the tank smells fairly decent, so I think someone may have put fuel in the tank and then they were trying to get the engine running and didn't realize how bad the carburetor truly was. The pin stuck with corrosion. The main jet is pretty much stuck with corrosion. The inlet, like I said, is broken off right here. So that, when that broke off, okay, I figured, okay, I could JB weld that around the outside. That shouldn't be too big of a deal. But all this, that is a big deal. Like, the float's replaceable, but if you were to break one of these tabs off, that's not replaceable. Parts are somewhat available for this, depending on what you need, but these machines are getting harder and harder to find. And this machine in running condition would be better to sell than a non-running condition. Also, I don't want to spend a huge amount of money on a machine that I don't know anything about, that may have a bad transmission, may have a bad clutch, anything like that, or could have a knock. I don't believe it's going to have a knock. Whenever it did run, it sounded fairly decent, because I did have it running on spray earlier today. It sounded good. So I don't think I'm going to have any issues there. It's just a matter of making sure everything else is going to work, and I can get a carburetor that will actually work on this machine. So anyways, that's where we're at right now. This machine actually still has its original fuel lines. I had to cut this one, but if I have to, it's still actually long enough and still flexible enough to reuse. So, which is surprising considering how old this machine is. I'm not going to crank it right now, because if I do, I'm going to get fuel coming out, which I don't want that. So anyways, that's where we're at right now on this, trying to source out a carburetor, and we'll go from there. If we can find a carburetor, we're going to proceed with this machine. If we can get this machine up and running, I will find a seat that will work for it, and this machine will actually get put somewhat back into service. I'm hoping that's the ultimate goal of this, is to fix it up and have it put back into service. So anyways, that's pretty much it. So I'll talk from there. Please keep it redneck like always, and please subscribe, comment.